What's good, y'all? Big brother Jake here. Most dudes in high school chase girls the wrong way and wonder why they never get one. Like, the biggest issue that I saw all the time back in high school with that, a lot of dudes were just super desperate, right? And when you're desperate, it shows off. You come off as needy, and it's just like, it's really not attractive, right? So like, the one thing I would really say is just like, focus on yourself. Like, be better in your craft, right? Whether that's like the sport you're working on, the YouTube channel you're working on, like, just do you, right? Like, girls want winners, right? They don't want like a loser, right? So just be the best you, like, just work on yourself as opposed to constantly wanting her and needing her and looking for her and like hunting her. Like, that's creepy and weird and whatnot, right? So that means you should be occupied in your time doing the things you love or the things that better yourself. So you shouldn't be bothering her 24/7, constantly texting her, right? Like, give her time to think about you, right? Like, have a life, right? Girls don't want a boring man. I think if you're fun, you'll get girls, period, regardless of what you look like. All you have to do is be fun, like, for real. Like, just be fun and chill, right? And I would say looks is still important, right? So do your best, like, within your dress code at your school to still look good, whether that's like having a good haircut, whether that's like having low body fat percentage so your face pops and like looks good, you know what I mean? Like, you know, have a nice cologne. That's a big thing. Make sure you have good hygiene. Hygiene is like, everyone's always talking about what they can do, like adding stuff like, you know, the haircut or the cologne, like what's the best cologne, and they're not focusing on hygiene, right? When you're in high school, bro, there's so many guys that are still using Axe. There's so many guys who aren't using deodorant. There's so many guys who are smelling. A1 hygiene, that alone, that is something. And it's like, it's unfortunate because like having clean teeth probably won't get you extra points with girls, but like not having like really clean teeth will probably take away from you unless you're just at the top 1% or something. So I would say like make sure you're brushing twice a day, make sure you're flossing, make sure you have a tongue scraper, make sure you're using whitening strips, right? And that your breath always smells good. If you're eating something crazy that's like gonna make it smell bad, like have some gum or something like that, right? Make sure you have a really good deodorant that works for you and that you're reapplying it if you have like, you know, football or something like that, right? Another thing I would say is be social. I talk about this in most of my videos. I strongly preach how being social is like so important. Just making sure you have the great social skills that you can talk to people. Make sure that, like, you know, you have friends. Like, she's not going to want to be with a loner, right? So if y'all have mutual friends, or if she sees that you have friends and that other people like you, she's not going to want to be with someone who like other people don't like, right? So another important thing is a lot of guys friend zone themselves because they just don't flirt at all. Make sure you make like good eye contact, you know, you give her a little small compliment, don't overdo it, but like make sure like she can still sense that there's a bit of attraction there and that you're not just approaching her on some friend stuff, right? Give it a little playful something, nothing too pushful. You don't want to come off as creepy, right? That being said, don't overdo it as well. Like I said, you don't want to be like texting her all day, but also I don't like when guys are like, oh, she took 3 hours to respond, I need to make sure I take 3 hours to respond as well, or I need to make sure I take 6 hours to respond. You shouldn't respond in the first, you know, you shouldn't always respond sometimes if you're free, you know, respond instantly, but you shouldn't always respond instantly because you're busy working on yourself, whether that's like in the gym, right, or doing your thing. So I don't like when guys are like, oh, I need to wait longer so I seem cool or busy or whatever. No, just be busy. Like, you shouldn't be responding instantly because you're not always on like Snapchat or whatever, right? I think that's really important, right? Another thing, probably the most important thing here, is you need to know to move on. I've seen so many guys who've had a crush on a girl all 4 years of high school, since middle school. They're just doing too much. It's like there's a friend group and it's like, oh yeah, Jeffrey over there, yeah, he likes Macy, you know? It's like the thing everyone like teases him or whatever because he doesn't know how to move on, okay? Like, you pursue her, she's not rocking with you, like, don't get on your hands and knees, like, doing your thing. Like, find someone else, keep working on yourself. Like, you want to find someone who appreciates you for who you are, and it's not like this ginormous struggle and whatnot, and you don't want to come off as like this creepy guy or whatever. If anything, become friends with that girl that you couldn't, maybe be friends with her and she can put you on with other people, maybe, or maybe just like, you know, charge the whole thing, like, don't rock with it. But let me know if y'all agree with what I've said. It's just my quick take on it, my little spew, right? Please show support to the channel. It's been your big brother Jake, signing out. Laters.